What's good, YouTube? Still reading questions from the comment section. This person asked, why would guys be willing to sleep with a girl they're not attracted to? Some guys will screw anything that moves, and I never understood it. Well, it's not necessarily for a woman to understand because we have very different experiences in this world that we live in. To be quite honest, but before I start, listen, I know the internet makes it seem like everybody is successful, is making tons of money, and is getting to that bag, but it's simply not true for most people. Many of us are struggling and having a lot of trouble paying our bills and our debts, especially after the pandemic. A lot of us have high interest credit card debt and loans with payments too large to make with ridiculous interest rates. If this sounds like you, then click the link below to get real help with debt relief and lower monthly payments. Now onto this topic. Put simply, women sleep with who they want to. Men sleep with who they can, right? Again, women sleep with who they want to. Women screw who they want. Men screw who they can, okay? From a very early age, men and women are acclimated to different environments and different reactions from the world, okay? Men are not as accustomed to yes as women. Men are not as accustomed to being pursued as women. Men are not accustomed to getting access to every woman that they find themselves to be attracted to. In fact, the majority of women that a man wants to sleep with in life, he doesn't have access to, right? From your fantasies to the women you walk past. Women might see 100 women a day. And of those 100 women, 50 of them he'd like to sleep with. And he's acclimated to this idea that not only does he have access to those 50 women, but the majority, if he asked or if he tried to make a move, wouldn't like him. He wouldn't be their type. Most men are normal. Most men don't have unbridled access to women. Women all fall in love with the same top 10% of guys. And so they understand that all those guys have options. It kind of skews their perspective because they think because the guys they deal with generally have options, that all guys are experiencing this abundance of options that they can sleep with who they want, because women generally only choose the men who can sleep with who they want. But that's not the case for 90% of men. 90% of men will not have access to women despite how much they want them women. They will not get the yes, they will get the no. They'll get told, I have a boyfriend. They'll get told, you're not my type. They'll get told, you're too nice. They'll get told, you're too broke. They won't get told shit. They'll just get made fun of and humiliated. Men are used to an insane amount of rejection, right? And women are also so mesmerizing physically that men can find a great many things attractive about a woman, right? Attractive enough to be horny, right? To be made horny, right? Men don't necessarily need all of the different things to be put in place to be attracted or to perform sexually with a woman. A woman might need to feel a certain way about you. She might need to feel a certain way about herself. You might need to have a certain stature, have a certain height, have a certain status, smell a certain way. Like, women have all of these prerequisites to what makes them hot for a man, what makes a man sexy or attractive or irresistible. Men don't have that. If a woman has decent enough skin and she has decent enough hygiene and she's not repulsive, she pretty much can get it. And it's not because men are just, humpy dogs, but it's because the access that men have to women is the access granted, not the access desired. The access that many women have to men is the access desired, not the access granted. Any woman can stick her bare ass out of a window and find a sexual partner if she wants. Literally. Like, if you just stuck your bare ass out a window, a guy would come by, is it okay if I get some of this? Like, men are not that picky. So women are acclimated to having as many options sexually as they can handle, right? Women are actually, and this is one of the perverted and stupid things about our society, women are acclimated from the ages of like 10, 11 sometimes to having to push away the advances of older men. From the time a woman first starts, growing her body, or, her chest starts growing, or her legs or her butt starts getting bigger or thicker, immediately there are men throwing themselves at her. I can't count as many the times I was a kid and heard a woman yell out of a door when a man beat his horn at a woman. She's only 12, mother. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can't count the times I've heard a woman stand in front of a young girl and talk to a man and let him know, hey, yo, this is my daughter, this is my niece, and she's only she's in this grade. Get your ass up out of here. Like, women are from a very young age groomed sexually, right? And so they build their sexuality, they build their attraction for men quite early because they're not allowed to be just humans, just girls. They are sexual beings from a much earlier age to a lot of perverted men out here that will prey on their ignorance and try to get sexual access to them. So when women develop this awareness of their sexuality, they also develop a selectivity of their sexuality, right? And so they have access to men. They start to choose the best of the best because at this point they've been propositioned by everybody. Men don't have this. There's not this coming of age where every woman is throwing herself at every man. Most men never get the experience of being desired by most women, flirted with, complimented, chased, seduced by. Most men don't get this. The only thing that men really understand by the time they're 15 or 16 is the word no, the word you're not good enough, or this idea that I don't want you, right? Men get so used to rejection that, it's a part of life. And so we sleep with who we can. We sleep who will say yes. We sleep with who will say yes. We're not necessarily sleeping with the person we want to sleep with because we don't have access to that woman. Right, we've done so much fantasizing and by adulthood, so much rubbing it off that we're not picky. We're just really going to take what's out there. And so when you see these men running around humping everything with legs, it's because they're used to rejection. It's because they haven't had access to women. It's because that men in general, even the attractive men who have options, it takes a while for that to happen. We're just conditioned to not having the choice. And so if you're hungry, are you going to require a person giving you food to give you filet mignon? Or are you going to take them chips? Are you going to require somebody to give you lobster and steak? Or are you going to take them dollar menu McDoubles? You're going to do what you got to do. You're going to take the cheap food. If you're starving to death, you're going to eat whatever somebody offers you. You're not going to say, hey, I need calamari. I need filet mignon. I need lobster tail. No, somebody offers you a cheeseburger from McDonald's. You're going to take it if you're starving. And that's kind of how men are. Most men aren't actually having sex on a regular basis like women think they are. The majority of men who don't have options are having sex maybe once a month, once every couple of months, once every few weeks. These guys who have options are having sex with multiple women a day sometimes because they have those options. All of the women are sharing the same top 10% of financially stable or socially, sought after, but ain't shit men because they have all of these options and they're enjoying the option. And the other 90% of men are just watching these 10% of men get laid by all the women of their dreams. And so when any woman, waves her ass at the guy, hey, man, you want some of this? He's going to be like, you know what? I think I'm going to take a piece because I don't know when my next piece is coming. Okay, that's kind of what that is. Men are not as selective sexually. Now, we will wait for the relationship. We will wait for the love. But sexually, no. If a woman has good hygiene and we can find something attractive about her, yeah, we want to have some sex. And that's just how we are. And it's not necessarily because men are nasty dogs. It's because most men don't have the options that most women do. Women have sex with who they choose to have sex with, who they choose to give access to for the most part. And men have sex with who will allow them. Women are the gatekeepers, which means, eventually if I'm cold, I'm going to knock on a few doors. If I'm locked outside, as soon as somebody let me come in, I'm coming in because I don't want to freeze to death. Or if I'm starving, I'm going to eat whatever's offered to me because I'm hungry. A lot of men are starved for attention. They're starved for affection. They're starved for acceptance from women. And they will take whatever they can get. They won't necessarily, again, settle for a relationship with these women, but they will definitely take a woman's warm embrace, so to speak, sexually. So, that's it. Some guys screw anything that moves. And there's also this idea that a man is a man if he has sexual access to many women. How many women you been with? Like how many girls you hit? Did you hit her? Did you hit her? Did you hit her? Immature men think that their manhood and their masculinity is based in their sexual conquest of a woman. It makes you feel mighty to conquer a woman sexually. You've conquered her will. You've conquered her barriers. You've conquered her body, and you made her submit to you. Not in a controlling way, but in like domination. Like just like men, want to beat each other in sports. There's this feeling of winning when a woman gives you access to her, right? You've won a thing, right? So there's some hormonal response to getting access and conquering a woman sexually. So that's another thing that we don't often talk about that men need. Men need to feel like they're winning, they're conquering. And often enough, men aren't necessarily conquering professionally. They're not conquering socially when they're regular, when they're a part of that bottom 90%. So if they get to conquer a woman, even if she's not his type, even if she's not fine, it still gives him the feeling of winning. It still gives him the feeling of love, of warmth, of acceptance, right? He gets to dominate if he's capable of dominating. So it's not necessarily that men just always see women as a hole to stick it in, but sex is a human need. That connection is a human need. The feeling of love is a human need. It's the same reason why women who are loosey-goosey with their sexual appetite take on a lot of different partners, because they're looking for the feeling of love and acceptance and warmth, and because they haven't been able to find it, that temporary feeling of being desired by a man makes them feel love for the moment, even if it's not real love. It's fake love, but they still need that emotion. It releases the oxytocin, it releases the endorphins, it releases the hormonal response for that moment. It's like a high, it's like a drug. Being accepted, being wanted by someone at any given moment is like a drug. Humans have a need to eventually feel those sensations. And so that's why men sleep with women they're not necessarily attracted to. It's why men don't really have a sexual standard, but they do have a relationship standard. And that's why a man being attracted to you or trying to sleep with you is no high honor, because men will stick it in a sock if they have to get one off. And so it really doesn't matter. You've seen some of the hit partners that some of these guys have when you go on Maury Povich, and you be like, I don't even know if this girl takes care of herself. Why did he hit her? Why did he got a baby with this girl? And it finds out the whole neighborhood and tap it, because she just gives access, and men are looking for access however they can get it. Even if it's from a person who they're not necessarily interested in, attracted to, or want. Most men are starved for access. That's why they will sleep with whomever will give them access. It's not necessarily like this emotional bonding thing. Anyway, I hope this helps. I hope this gives you some light or some perspective on that topic. Follow me at KidFig24 on Instagram. Also, I started Instagram subscriptions. I wanted to do a group chat, since somebody suggested I do like a Discord or something like that. I don't really like Discord, but if people do want to do a group chat with me and they want to do private lives, Instagram actually lets you DM people and talk to people personally, so it's easier to warn people and talk to people and tell them, hey, I'm going live. If you want to go live with me, I'm going live on this day. I can speak directly to my people on YouTube. I can't talk to my members, and so it's very difficult to do things for my members because they don't know what's coming up if they didn't watch the last couple of videos, because YouTube's algorithm doesn't show them everything they're subscribed to. It's just ridiculous. So if you're interested, I'm doing Instagram subscriptions. If by the end of the week I don't have enough subscriptions, then I'll just not do it. But if I get enough interest in these Instagram subscriptions, then I absolutely will start going live privately for those Instagram members, and doing a group chat so we can always be in contact. I'll get with y'all later.